There you go. There you go. Obviously a huge day for every team that's involved in this contest, even those that aren't playing today, but very special for you.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a big game for us. First game, nice to get off to a winning note, so we realise the pressures of that. But at the end of the day, it is a cricket match, and you've got to come out here, do your basics well, concentrate on your job, and try and do as well as possible. You know, we're going to have a good crowd in tonight. Should be a great atmosphere, and all the guys are really looking forward to it.
4 guys on the bench today.
Yeah, Robbie Peterson, Moniz Ondeki, Charles Langerveld, and Andrew Hall are the ones who miss out for us today.
Play well.
Thanks, Ross.
So that's the news then from the middle. Carl Hooper of the West Indies has won the toss and elected to bat first.
So that is interesting. Carl Hooper is going to bat first, and of course that toss could well be very, very important. There's an air of expectation here at Newlands, that's for sure, and why shouldn't there be for the first game of the 2003 ICC Cricket World Cup? So there's the team chat over with Sean Pollock, of course, just giving the instructions. And if we have a look at the team sheets that have been chosen today, South African side, Gary Kirsten, Herschel Gibbs, formidable opening partnership. Jacques Callis, of course, is an outstanding player. Put to Dippenard. John G. Rhodes will liven things up in the field. And Mark Boucher. Lance Klusener, lots of discussion whether he would play or Andrew Hall would play, but Lance Klusener's got a good record here at Newlands, has got the nod. Sean Pollock, Nicky Pierre, Alan Donald, and the fiery Makairan Tini. So that's the South African lineup. And if we look at the West Indies, the top 3 are very, very important for them, of course. The electrifying Chris Gale, Wavell Hines, who's been in very good form of late and got runs in trial games during the week. Brian Lara back on the stage, and he's determined to be the #1 player in the world, #1 batsman in the world. He's made some statements along those lines throughout the week. Subramanian Chandakal, Carl Hooper, the skipper, Ramarish Salman, who's a very reliable good-order player, and Ricardo Powell, who has got the nod ahead of Marlon Samuels, who just arrived in South Africa today after being allowed to join the squad. Rudy Jacobs, the reliable keeper, and Vasquez Race, he's going to be an important member of that West Indies lineup. Of course, plays his cricket, or has played his cricket for many years in South Africa. We should see how he bowls against the South African side. So there we go. There's lots of atmosphere in the crowd. There's the president and the former president, Thabo Mbeki, and Nelson Mandela, having a little discussion, both wearing their South African shirts. We saw some shots of the sports minister, Kondi Balfour, a little bit earlier as well, also donning the South African shirt. So nice to see the politicians.
The grounder picture. Opening match of the ICC 2003 World Cup here at Newlands. First ball on its way. Welcome, Michael Holding. And the sort of odd part of it, and it's crept into the game quite a lot just recently, certainly in the series here, Michael. 7-2 field, fine leg and a wide mid-on, the only 2 on the onside. Now please, that must be a run. It is. West Indies are off the mark and the game has begun. Beautifully bowled, and it's got through to Boucher. Yes, and out. There wasn't a great deal of consistency in that appeal. Boucher sort of held it up, and he has been known to throw it very, very high. But we'll soon see. Umpire Harper made the decision. 4 for 1.
Will Hines isn't convinced. Wow. No wonder he wasn't convinced. It's 4 for 1.
Wavell Hines out for naught. Brian Lara takes his place with a one-day international career which is phenomenal. 7,500 runs and an average of 42. Welcome back to the big arena to Brian Lara. And if you don't pick it up straight away, you're really struggling, especially when it's coming flat at you. Oh, well, I was about to say put down. Tremendous effort. Got a hand to it, Jacques Callis. So it has to go down as a chance for Bolden Tini.
Certainly an excellent delivery. Once the ball is pitching in line with the stumps, you have got to play as a batsman, and it's moving. Would have been an excellent catch. Certainly would have been a brilliant catch. But I suppose Aaron Lara will say, well, I need a bit of luck. I'm just getting back into the big time. Give me a break. He got it.
There's a bit of width, and he's dragged it on, would you believe it? Pollock strikes again. And it's Gale now who makes his way back to the pavilion.
Certainly not the best of starts for the West Indies. He got that width that Robin Jackman was talking about. It was full as well. That was what tempted him to go for the shot. But I think he just suspected that this might have gone a bit further than it did. You can see that it hit the inside edge. He was expecting that ball to continue moving with the natural angle and a bit of movement. Didn't quite move as much. It's 7 for 2.
Shivnarine Chanderpaul, 127 matches, 3,700 runs at an average of 36.5. Best score of 150. Comes in with his team in all sorts of trouble. 7 for 2, the West Indies, in the 7th over. Having won the toss, elected to bat. This is a very distinctive way of marking his crease.
Wrong sport, I would say. Nice shot. And that could go for the first boundary. It will. It's timed sweetly. It's right back past the bowler. And the West Indies get their first boundary in the 13th over of the innings. The Chanderpaul off Donald.
Oh, it's an absolute beauty. He just walks across his crease. Chanderpaul, you see that big step with a nice full face of the bat. There's nothing better than hitting the ball straight back past the bowler. Lovely shot. First one.
Good shot. That's a very good shot. That's well in front of square on the leg side for 4. Well played. Slightly short from Donald. The aggressive field, or a good field, a solid field, I suppose, is how you describe it, from Sean Pollock with Donald. Good shot. Very, very good shot. Through extra cover for 4. That's a lovely shot.
Well, Chanderpaul pulled Donald the previous over in front of square on the leg side. Well, there's nothing wrong with this. Over pitched. He walks around a lot, Chanderpaul, but when he goes after it, it stays hit. He needs some more of those. Good shot.
So I suppose you get the feeling at the moment, Ian, that anything they reckon, or they think they can recognise, they'll certainly be going after. They've got to try and get this tempo up a little bit, that's for sure. It's in the air. Sean Pollock is going back pretty slowly. It's a very, very good shot. It's gone all the way for 6, that one. That is a terrific shot.
And sometimes you just need something to kickstart your innings. He looked out of touch, the timing wasn't there. Over before, tried to pull a ball, got it all wrong. But there's nothing wrong with this. Full flow. That's the Brian Lara would recognise.
It's a very good shot, and it's gone for 4. So that's well played. Just slightly wide, slightly short from Callis, and Lara's punished that.
Just get the feeling he might just be getting the pace off this wicket now. Maybe it's not come on as much as we thought it would this morning. Perhaps it takes a little bit of time to get your timing. Well, it was in the air, but I think as a bowler, that's a massive bonus. If the fielder gets a hand on it, really gets what it deserves, and that's 4 runs.
Yes, even Jonty Rhodes had no chance in saving that, let alone catching it. Pulled through for a quick single by Shivnarine Chanderpaul, and that's good calling from the man at the non-striker's end.
Well stopped. Brilliant. Rhodes, absolutely brilliant. He really is phenomenal in that position. His body, he says, gets sorer and sorer after every game as he's got a little older. He's hit the ground an awful lot of times. Goodness gracious me, look at this.
Very quick footwork, then a large dive. Get in very quickly, then he's up on his feet. He does elbows, hips and fingers, get absolutely hammered day in, day out. I think he carries on a little bit more than about his body and everything, his agility and movement.
It's a long way. It's driven through extra cover with power from Lara. Cullis not pleased, but no bowler is.
Well, he's been so tied up to this stage. That's why he's not pleased, Jacques Cullis. 5.1 overs now, none for 14. And this is the side I was talking about. It was an off-spinner, slower ball, and look at that for placement.
Slightly on the up. trusted the bounce of the ball and no deviation off the surface.
Ricky Boyer, I think, is more than effective. 4.5 runs and over for me, Robin, is good. For the type of bowler he is, he's sort of a defensive spinner, which gives the team great balance.
Lara gives himself room here quite beautifully, and wonderful timing gets him 4. Just shifted his weight back and inside the line of the ball. Great shot.
They're the 2 men on the offside. Jacques Callis at point there, or sweeping, was beaten to the rope. Then 2 men in the circle on the leg side, and those 3 men out on the boundary. So there's plenty of 2s there, probably.
Called for 2, and he's going to get at least 2. In fact, he's going to get 4. More wonderful timing from the West Indian champion.
Absolutely at will, this. Sees the ball very early out of Boyer's hand, and then he decides, I'm going to hit it into that gap. From way outside off stump, half volley made into, and then finds the big gap that's been left for him. Past the infielder, and then past Gary Kirsten on the rope.
Back on track. They sorted the side screen out. Nicky Boyer. Well, there was nearly a mix-up there in the middle. Lara wanted to keep going. Chandler Paul was watching the ball. Kirsten tracked it down in the end. Now there's a chat between the two, but Lara commits himself a long way here.
The one thing Kirsten wasn't doing was watching the batsman.
That's a great shot from Lara. You won't have to chase that. Back to Francois Pinard in a minute. Lara goes through to 50, and what a wonderful 50 it's been. Dropped first ball, remember. A very sharp chance to Callis at third slip. But since then, the man who wants to regain his spot as the best batsman in the world has shown that he's perfectly capable of doing it.
Devastating.
That's another great shot. And we'll go for 4. 49 runs in the last 10 overs and 4 off the first ball of the 11th, if you like, in that sequence. And really, Brian Lara on fire now.
8 wickets in hand, though, the West Indies. Quicker ball. This time he gets away fairly fine for 4. So that's a good shot, and what a good over for the West Indies. They'll be very, very pleased with that. 12 runs from the over, 30 gone, 105 for 2. Skyline graph is starting to look impressive now. Very, very slow at the start of the innings. 3 maidens right up front, and then a couple of wickets really put to the brakes on the West Indies. But now it's building quite nicely. That was the best over by some distance, that 12. Looking for 2. You might have heard the call of Toosie. They're going to do it easily. Chandimal scampers back. Dippenaar does some work. And their partnership now is 100 runs. So great stuff from these two.
Slowly building this partnership, and also the rate. Just 141 balls for those 100 runs. Started off very slowly, but who could blame them with the West Indies 72. 58 balls for Shivnarine Chanderpaul's 32.
Past Rhodes again, looking for 2 more again. McCarantini's got a good arm, but they'll come back quite easily. So Shivnarine Chanderpaul trying to play a few cute shots now. Another couple of runs to him. 34 he is. On 59 balls, and Brian Lara 64 off 87. But Lara's been the aggressor, of course, out of the 2. But we've got to give full credit to Shivnarine Chanderpaul. Now there's a nick, I think. There certainly was a noise. They've all gone up, and yes, so is the finger for umpire Darryl Harper. Shivnarine Chanderpaul goes. Lance loses the man that's picked him up, and a good catch. Bit of extra bounce. A very good catch from Mark Boucher.
I think Chanderpaul knew that he had to go. I think even before the umpire raised his finger, he was thinking about going. A bit obvious that sound going through the wicketkeeper. Good ball. It bounced a bit awkwardly at Shivnarine Chanderpaul. You can see him there opening the face, trying to steer it down to the third man region. Harper just gives a quick nod and then the raised finger. So not quite what the West Indies needed at this point, but not a bad inning from Chanderpaul. It's 109 for 3.
So it's time for the skipper, Kyle Hooper. He's out in the middle now, playing in his 222nd game. Double Nelson in games. I'm sure that's not going to worry him too much. He's always cool, calm and collected. Shivnai Chanderpaul is the man that departs. And just have a look at this great work from Mark Boucher. Extra bounce, up he goes and takes the catch. Must have been a little bit of deflection as well. Shivnai Chanderpaul looks down at the ground, eventually goes up and looks at Harper and has to make the trudge to the change room. Extra bounce, good catch. At the end of a very good partnership between Shivnai Chanderpaul and Brian Lara. And now Carl Hooper's the man that's got to take up the mantle.
Got it through and placed it well, but he won't be the fielder at deep point. You'll get 2 runs for it. And a little bit of difficulty out there for the fielder on the boundary. Fiercely struck, and somehow Antini gets out of the way, because that would have carried him and the ball to the boundary. That was a fair shot by Lara. It came like a shot from a gun, and almost cleaned up Antini with it.
Making these boundaries look small now, Brian Lara. That's the second. The one before, he had Jacques Callis hurrying up on the rope. Almost injured himself because of the timing and power of that bat swing.
Edge down towards third man and 4. Very, very fine indeed. Alan Donald has been off the boundary and has been quite fine at third man. There's no chance of him getting to that one. Welcome runs for the West Indies.
This has been Carl Hooper's technique so far today. Just opens the face. He's known to play big booming drives and lofted drives over cover and down the ground, but today he's playing with finesse.
Here's Klusner, resumes to Lara, and Lara has punched it away for 4. That's a fine shot by the left-hander. Just enough width, just short enough of length, and he found the gap and put it away for 4. This is vintage Lara now.
See how small Johnny Rhodes make gaps seem too, and not even he had a chance. Brilliant stroke play once again. 240, they need 8 and over to get there. There's 4 of them off the first ball of Klusner's re-entry.
And that's going all the way. That's gone for 6. Well, I said it a while ago and I'll say it again. Vintage Lara. He just flicked it. And all the fielder at deep backward square leg could do was crane his neck and watch it sail into the crowd as Lara moves into the 90s.
Takes on the man. He's out there, Callis. No answers. We've seen despairing dives at ropes, and now a despairing glare at a ball which disappears for 6.
Well, he's slogged this one now. We'll get another couple of runs here. So Lara on the go. Looks as if he's targeted Klusner here. Well, I suppose at this stage he's targeting anyone. He's moved to 93 from just 112 deliveries. Spanked away and beautifully placed as well for 4. Superb cut shot by Lara carries him to 98 at the end of the over. So with 10 overs remaining, the West Indies are 168 for 3, and they've got Lara in prime form on 98 and Hooper 22. Like that, 4 runs to Hooper. Beautifully placed. Now, why would you want to swipe the first ball of the over when you can play shots like that?
They're his shots. Keep the ball along the ground, find the gaps, pick up singles if you like, because Lara is absolutely on fire at the other end. Great timing. I think you'll find most of his scoring has been done behind square on the offside.
Pulled very fine indeed. This will go for 4 more. So Donald proving expensive here. As you were saying, didn't quite get hold of this one, as he sometimes does. and in fact the ball is going to hold up just inside the boundary. They'll come back for 3, and it means that Brian Lara will have the strike. Well, Ian Healy called it, and Keeney making the tumbling save. But what it does do is to bring the attention back onto Brian Lara.
The perfect scenario. Pick up 3, get Lara on strike for 99. Jacques Callis just got a little full on that ball. Hooper's been struggling to play that shot because they've been bowling better length than that half volley. Here we go, Callis to Lara, 99.
And there it is. Brian Lara puts his signature immediately on the 2003 World Cup. And not only West Indians in the crowd, but everyone around this Newlands Stadium standing to a man and appreciating what has been a tremendous innings, a vital innings for the West Indies from a tremendous batsman.
Well, his 16th century in one-day internationals. To go with 48 50s. Just won 121 balls. Got the strike rate up to 82.6. It was struggling early in the innings because it was tough. South Africa bowling tight. The first 50 came in 78 balls. The second 50 in just 43. He's made it look incredibly easy.
Got it past. And there'll be runs here. They could be looking for 3. And we'll get them. Yeah, South Africans seem to be a little bit rattled now. West Indies move on to 186 for 3. There are still 8 overs remaining after this one.
And then we're going to see the extravagant shots. That's a beauty behind square, and you're quite right, Bigby. He really did put his head down. He had a little bit of luck. Dropped first ball. It was a very difficult chance by Jacques Callis. But I think he's become more responsible. It's the big stage for him, the World Cup, and he can always lift his game, and Brian Lara has done exactly that today. This is one beautifully played. Let the ball come past him. That's why he hit it so square. Knew where the man was on the fence, the sweeper, and he's hit it backward to square.
Well, it's just whipped away, but it could be caught. Taking the catch and taking it well. Never easy with that white ball. It's the blue sky background. But didn't get hold of it. And he's paid the price. The ultimate is looking.
Yeah, the little whip off the hip. I think he was looking to try and get it behind square. Normally you time those well go out the park. Jacques Callis didn't initially pick it up because of the background. There's a big crowd there. You see here, late decision from Kyle Hooper, trying to whip it behind square, but Jacques Callis in the end did very, very well. Initially he stood still and had to come forward, kept his eye on the ball. Good catch in the end, so a great partnership has at last been broken. A little bit of respite for South Africa. Hooper back in the pavilion for 40, 198 for 4.
Ricardo Powell. That's no real surprise there. Richards expected that, and he's got his wish. Clean striker of the ball. As you say, it could be a perfect scenario for him. This is the reason he's there. You know, Hooper going for the flick, and he looks there and he knows I haven't got it. Jack Callis a little slow picking it up, but once he got his hands to it, it's always safe. Well taken. Well, that's gone fine. That'll go for 4. Well, no problems with the for Ricardo Powell. He's off the mark with a boundary, and the 200 comes up for the West Indies. Magnificent fight back. That's nicely placed. That's going to go to the boundary. They brought the fine leg up. Well, you can't afford to get your line and length wrong to someone in the form that Brian Lara is now in. Easy pickings.
Brilliant. No, he just looks around the field, Lara, and without any sort of fuss at all, creeps across his stumps and just helps it on its way. And notice how he misses the fielders so often, Lara. Like all great players, he's got this ability to know where the gaps are when the ball's on the way from the bowler's arm, and he can just put just enough pace on it to get it past him.
Well, this could be out, should be out. It's gone for the big hit. And it's caught in the end by Sean Pollock, the captain, but I thought for a minute we've got it wrong. Brian Lara, his innings comes to an end. It's been magnificent, compelling viewing. Career best for him in the World Cup, 116. But in the end, an excellent catch.
Brilliant, Brian Lara. Take a bow. This has been a sensational knock. Came in at a very difficult situation and just played absolutely superbly. Almost caught first ball, and that was the only little streaky shot he had. But he's played quite magnificently. In the end, out to a good catch from Sean Pollock. He was telling Lance Klusner to get away from him, but took his eyes off the ball, and in the end had to dive forward. 116 for Brian Lara, 215 for 5.
Just have another look at this catch. The captain decides he wants it. I need to swing it away to the leg side boundary, but watch Sean Pollock. Get out of my way, I want it. But then, oh, hang on. Well judged. In the end. Look at the relief. Ramnaresh Sawan, new batsman. But he's not on strike. The man that is has just punched that through mid-wicket, Ricardo Powell. Well, Brian Lara might have gotten the last ball, but it hasn't stopped Ricardo Powell. Well, that's clubbed away, and that's gone all the way. Came down the wicket and was just baseballed over mid-wicket.
Yes, over left field for a home run. And it's only the second ball he's faced. Almost run out. Oh, it's been a unbelievable couple of deliveries from Sawan. Down the track he goes. It's about waist high when he just smashes it away. That's a great shot.
Boy. That's beautifully placed. This could go for 4 more through mid-wicket. It does. Ricardo Powell has now moved on to 20 from just 9 deliveries. Oh, that's smashed straight down the ground for 6 more. Ricardo Powell is saying, let's have some fun. Sean Pollock had gone for 20 off 8 overs. He's gone for 19 in this over.
And it hasn't been that bad an over, if we're really fair dinkum about it. The first one was clubbed away beautifully by Sawan, and this one, it's just a fraction. And we're talking about 3-4 inches from being in a perfect spot, and it's gone straight over his head for 6. Flat, hard. Wow, that is a shot.
It's beautifully placed as well. This could be 4 more. It is. What a magnificent over for the West Indians. 23 runs from Sean Pollock's 9th over. 8 overs, 2 for 20. 9 overs, 2 for 43. It's 246 for 5. Look at that Yorker. They might come back for the 2 here. They'll have to be quick. And that's good running. They are quick.
And he slipped. Sawan actually slipped just a little when he turned, and he still managed to get there.
Well, that's going to be 4. You don't even bother leaving the crease. Full toss, slashed away over the backward point. Brings up the 250. 252 for 5. Got whipped away, but over the man at mid-wicket, and it's going to go for 4. This has got the makings of another very good over. 8 runs from it so far. And the partnership, 50, coming up in just 21 balls. Well, it's a slower ball, but it's been spotted and it's been clubbed a long way.
Magnificent batting. This really is. You can't say that the South Africans have bowled that poorly. There's just been some superb stroke play. Jacques Cullis attempting the slower delivery, which you should do at the end of the 50 overs, but Sawan quick as a flash. Thank you very much.
He's gone for another slower ball. Again, it's picked off. There'll only be 1. So again, it's falling over. 1-2, and that was the call, and they're going to come back for it. And that is excellent running. I don't think Jacques Callis is too impressed. Teeny at mid-off. Yes, good running, positive running. 1 ball to go in this West Indian innings, 275 for 5. Oh, who knows what will happen. Last ball. Well, that's slashed away, and that's 4. 50 overs gone, 279 for 5. And when you consider that after 25 overs, the West Indies were 67 for 2. 212 runs coming in the last 25 overs. The loss of just 3 wickets. Magnificent batting. This little partnership here worth 64 from just 28 deliveries. Well, the hero of that innings, Brian Lara, 116 from 134 balls. And Robin Jackman has sprinted across the other side of the park, and he is caught up with Brian Lara.
How are you going to cue me? How much cricket have you actually played before you got here?
I played one official competitive match in Trinidad. We played North versus South, and that's about it. We had a couple of matches in the camp and 2 practice games here, but it's been nice to come back in form.
If you had to pick a moment, would this have been it?
Yeah, I was looking forward to this. You know, I think we knew about 2 years ago or a year ago that we were playing the first game in the World Cup in South Africa against the host, and we were looking forward to it. And the lead up for it was great, and it's a great atmosphere here, and the show last night was even excellent.
Well, you've done the team and yourself proud, and this crowd. Thank you, well played.
Thank you very much.
Certainly, yeah, Sean Pollock and Ntini very good up front, but Donald, Callis, Klusener and Boyer, all the backup bowlers have certainly paid the penalty. 3 main bowlers in the middle there, Donald, Callis and Klusener, all going for over 50. There's a big job for South Africa to do.
The South Africans will have to score 280 runs, the highest total chasing at Newlands if they were to get it. There are 50 overs available. They need to score at over 5.5 runs per over.
So Gary Kirsten, 180 matches, very experienced of course, over 6,500 runs, a terrific average of 40.56, playing at his home ground. High score of 188 not out, which is a record in World Cup matches. Of course, he's going to be one player, Herschel Gibbs. He has been in some sublime form of late. Average of 34.81 at the moment, not far shy of 4,000 runs after 118 games. Oh, that's a very good delivery. There was some sort of noise. Mervyn Dillon's gone up in a big way. He hasn't got any response at all from umpire Harper.
Didn't get too much support from behind the wicket either. Willie Jacobs half-heartedly went up. Step Corden didn't really get too excited. Good delivery though. Bit of movement off the seam. Step Corden, hands in the air, but no serious appeal from them all. Let's have a closer look here. Still can't be too sure. Certainly Pat, but was there an inside edge first? Pretty difficult to tell.
I hope it's surprised if it was just Pad, or certainly it was very close to being just Pad. Why wasn't an LBW shout? There wasn't too much of a response from the guys behind, that's for sure. Great shot, terrific shot, off the mark.
That's not the length that South Africa bowled at the top of the innings. And that's not the length that the West Indies should be bowling. Much too short. It wasn't all that wide. The line was reasonably good, but the length, you can see the line there, just a bit inside that white line that the umpires use as a judge of width.
Good shot. Another very good shot from Herschel Gibbs. Slightly over pitch, a little bit wide as well, and I got the treatment. Just past the outstretched hand of the second step, and that's raced away for 4. Good shot. That's away. Kirsten's not running for that. He doesn't have to. That's gone for 4.
This has been a pretty quick outfield. Anything that has been properly timed, we haven't seen too many fielders chasing and stopping it from getting to the ropes, and that was well timed. Slip or no slip from Brian Lara at mid-on, that would have gone past him. That's 4.
It's a good shot, and is well played. 4 runs, slightly short and punished.
Well, this pitch is very good. Any slight variation in length, and the batsmen are onto the ball like a flash. This was just slightly shorter than previous deliveries. Just a fraction shorter, not a lot. But it was short enough, and with consistent pace and bounce, the batsmen certainly can afford to play shots like that. Just bounce inside the rope.
Pull shot. He's got everything of that as well. Herschel Gibbs. 1 bounce into the advertising boards. 4 more. That was savage.
Again, it's too short. No problems at all there for Herschel Gibbs. Absolutely no problems playing.
When he first came in, his early matches, big sixes. And he's caught behind. Well taken by Jacobs. Deserving wicket for Dillon, and a big wicket for the West Indies. A good delivery, and Herschel Gibbs goes.
Fine delivery from Dillon here. Gets the ball just to hold up. He bowls it from wide of the crease, or it appears quite wide, particularly when you're down at the other end. A good catch. Just watch this ball hold up. He comes at it, he knows he has to. A little bit of an angle bat, but that's a good take. And Jacobs. Well, Dillon gets the breakthrough, and that is a big breakthrough. Herschel Gibbs has gone for a brisk 24. It's 46 for 1.
Botha Dippenaar comes in to replace Herschel Gibbs, with South Africa having lost their first wicket for 46 off the 4th ball of the 8th over. Dillon delivering a good one.
There's a little bit of an angle bat from Herschel Gibbs, but the ball, I think, holds up. And a fine take. One that keeper should take, but he was relieved as a bowler to see them stay in.
Very nearly, well, perhaps 10 years ago. He's 33 now. Wasn't too far away from him.
He's just a youngster. 83. I think he's just wrong-footed. He is in the wrong stride.
Bad ball, too short. Goes away for 4. Bad delivery from Collins. He just doesn't seem to have rhythm here this evening. That's a very bad delivery. All he had to do was swing around on it.
It's a poor delivery. We're talking about his length being wrong. Well, his line and length are wrong here.
It's a good shot. That is a very good shot. Back to that question in a minute.
That's a brilliant shot. Barry Kirsten just realising that Vasper Drake's not the quickest of bowlers, just drifting onto the pads, men up, just flicked it away. This is something one-day cricket has taught a lot of players. When it's on the pads, don't worry about keeping it along the ground all the time. In the air. Good shot.
And that's a good shot from Dippenaar. It might go up into the stand, and it does.
This is a wonderful shot. Not an easy shot to play to somebody like Kyle Hooper. If anything, the ball will spin in just a little bit, so he's hitting inside out. And he's just given himself a little bit of room, Botha Dippenaar. Oh, that could be close. Yes, he's walking. Brilliant comeback from Kyle Hooper. Just got it to drift away from the right-hander, thinking in the back of his mind, Dippenaar, that he might go again. He just hit him for 6. A little bit of lapse in concentration, and he's paid the penalty.
Very clever bowling indeed. Down the wicket, 1 ball, and 4 rows back over mid-off. And the next ball prepared. Just try something a little bit different. Came at him again, straight on, and he didn't even have to think about getting back. He tried to get his toe back over the line, knew he hadn't, didn't wait for a decision. Dippenaar goes, stumped by Jacobs off the bowling of Hooper for 20, and South Africa are 79 for 2. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stroke.
As good as any of that have been played, and there's been some wonderful stroke play today. Brian Lara scored 100. A little flurry from Powell and Sarwan. And this is just copybook. Perfect.
What a stunning sight that is. Absolutely beautiful. Half a moon. Oh, that's a great shot. That is a great shot. My goodness me, what style.
Been plenty of times he hasn't been that willing to give advice and to help the captain out. Today he is on fire. Got his body language right with the bat, and now he's working in the field.
Gone, good catch. Ridley Jacobs has taken a very good catch, going a long way to his right, and that is a huge wicket. Jacques Kallis, we know, is a fine player, but he's long track back to the pavilion.
Can only imagine this is the precise line he was asked to bowl. Pedro Collins. Perfect length going across Jacques Kallis. The field was tight on the offside that made Kallis look for a smaller gap. He worked hard at it, but all he could get was an outside edge, and Ridley Jacobs takes his second diving catch. Collins is the bounce back that the West Indies needed. Kallis disappears for 13.
So Jonty Rhodes it is. He's the next man in. 244 games now. Healthy average of 35 where he bats. About to face his first ball from Collins. There's a slip in position. Carl Hooper's slid himself in the first slip. But gee, what a huge wicket that was. Kallis, we know, is a wonderful player. See that played a few times. Nice and fine. It's going to run away for 4, so that's a good shot. That's well played. That's what Kirsten needs to do.
He'll get plenty of opportunities because Jonty Rhodes will turn the strike over to him regularly. The single to Rhodes the ball before, and now Carl Hooper hasn't adjusted at all to the left-hander on strike. Wide outside leg. Where's that come from? Good shot.
Down to third man, nice and fine. Vasper Drakes does well. No, he doesn't. Slight fumble in the end. It rolls onto the ropes. That's another boundary. The 5th boundary for Gary Kirsten. Brings up his 43rd one international 50 for South Africa. Here's a fine play, this one. More work to be done, though. Certainly some late swing. Once again, just sliding leg side from Collins.
A little bit extra bounce and good rhythm, pace. He's had none of it all night. Bottom glove onto the body. We'll take one.
There's a quick look at the West Indies batting after they won the toss and elected to bat, which is no surprise here at Newlands. 278 for 5. Brian Lara magnificent, his second 100 in World Cups and second against South Africa. Oh! Bottom edge, I think, chopped it on. Carl Hooper's done it. The quicker ball, the slider from him, smile as well. I'm not surprised. Rhodes is on his way back to pavilion as well.
Shuffle of the feet. Jonty Rhodes looks to come out of the crease. Hooper spots it, fires in the fast one. And the luck is on their side this time. Jonty Rhodes just makes a movement. There, out he comes. No, he's going to go back. Cramped. Too close to cut. Good bowling by Hooper. Ridley Jacobs goes off, and so does Jonty Rhodes. It's 4 for 117.
South Africa's vice-captain Mark Boucher, wicket-keeper, now in the middle, and of course wickets are falling fairly consistently at the moment for South Africa. They're 4 down. A couple of quick ones now. Jonty Rhodes was the last to go. Carl Hooper has picked up his second. 2 for 27 he's got now, Carl Hooper.
Fairly laid back out there too, isn't he, Wavell? Just comes, wanders around, wanders off the rope a bit, makes his own time to the ball, but that time was good.
Not quite as casual as Marlon Samuels. He's not playing today, but he is very casual when he's playing with in the field or with bat in hand. Good shot. That is well played. That's going to go for 4. The outfield's still quick. Fine strike from Boucher.
He thanks Carl Hooper for the gap that's been left for him, because this half volley on leg stump doesn't slide across. It stays on middle and leg. And Boucher's up to it. It's 3 times today. It's done perfectly between Lara and Hooper. And now Boucher and Kirsten. Just no need to panic yet.
In the air, there's a fieldsman there. He slipped. And it's gone over the top for 6. Vasper Drake's it was. At one stage it looked like he was going to swallow it. Then suddenly the feet went underneath him. And what would have normally been an easy catch has ended up being 6 runs. What a bonus for Kirsten and South Africa.
Well, obviously Mark Boucher said take on the man at mid-on. See if he can get him to slip. He looked like a newborn colt. There he comes, no good. Desperation was there, but the ball wasn't.
That's an indication again of the Dew Hills. Getting a bit damp out there. Sweet shot this time. Could be another 4. Work to be done. There's another 4. So that's 10 runs off 2 balls from Gary Kirsten. 10 runs from the over. 143 for 4. Let's have a look at Chris Gale's second last delivery. Vasper Drake's getting underneath it now, and then, oops, all over the show. Went for 6. Certainly has got spikes on the soles of his boots, as you'd imagine. Just couldn't keep his foot in, and this was the last with the over. It also went for 4. Another little slide. No real chance that time.
As well there, Brian Lara.
That's a possibility, although we have been told that it should not be a serious problem here at Newlands. That's why they have played day-night games here. Not too many being played inland. On the coast, they say it shouldn't be a problem. That wasn't really a slip from Brian Lara. He deliberately did that. He knew he was close to the ropes.
Get through. No, it's good fielding. Andrew Collins might not have had the Mr. Knights of the ball in his hand, but does well there. Softest of dismissals. It's worked. Dinham was brought back to get a wicket, and he's done it. Leading edge from Gary Kirsten, looking to just work it on the leg side. Well, they don't come much more gentle than that, do they, Mikey?
No, not at all. And all fun and frolic for the West Indies at the moment. They are enjoying this. Good wicket this from Irvin Dillon. Very good wicket. Gary Kirsten has been batting very well. The mainstay in the innings so far, and now he's gone. That's exactly what Carl Hooper was hoping for. His leading bowler to give him a wicket. It's 155 for 5.
South African captain makes his way to the crease.
Lance Klusener, as I said, has not been in the best of form. Nicky Boye, well, he's no slouch with the bat. That's another wicket. He's not going. Sean Pollock finally has decided to go with the nod from the umpire, and that's a big wicket.
Well, it's not only a big wicket. I think the West Indies is now thinking victory. What a massive start for them in this competition. Good catch. Thrown up. Scale. Sean Pollock goes for the drive. Carl Hooper, the captain, takes an excellent catch. Good hands. Good catch. Big wicket. Sean Pollock on his way back. He's gone for 4. It's 160 for 6. Was it carried? No. Now, did it carry? Well, my reaction was it was a chance, Mikey.
I thought so as well. It seemed to move a bit late to card a pole. Well, this will tell us if it did carry all the way back to him. This would have been a big wicket. It did carry. He held it and then it fell out. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he's given the net a bit of stick. Hit that very, very hard indeed. It's only 4, I think, as umpire Venkat reaches for his walkie-talkie. Straight down the ground, there's room for mid-off to get across. Mid-on comes across, but it splits them. The South African crowd suddenly gets a little excited again. They haven't had much to be excited for.
A
It's up in the air. There's a man back there, but he isn't tall enough. 6 to Boucher. And again. Big over this for South Africa. 4 more to Boucher.
It's well and truly inside that white mark.
Oh! Bowled him out. Boucher goes for 49 and surely to the match from a South African point of view.
Unluckily called for a wide the ball before, but he follows it up with a fast Yorker. Dale, fast Yorker, perfect. Boucher not sure whether to sweep, drive or defend. He manages none. The ball cannons into leg stump. Boucher's disappointed. That does bring Nicky Boyer on into the arena. He's gone for 49 from 49. 204 for 7.
Nicky Boyer, the next man to the crease. Smeared away! 6. Klusner. Is he South Africa's last chance?
The call goes up. Natal Zulu. Pitched outside off, or on middle, and went way outside off with the angle of Mervyn Dillon. Managed to find the middle of the bat. Where's this been?
Hit over it, that's 1 for 4. Hit it well enough. Fielder at backward point, dived over it. There's Klusner. He's got him, and it's gone. It's gone all the way. As Barry Richards was mentioning, this is a dangerous fella out there, Lance Klusner. The world knows it. The West Indies know it. All the South Africans know it.
Just a little short of where he wanted to be. He wanted to be in the block hole. Ended up a half volley. Lance Klusner. Well, no boundaries big enough when he's really in this mood. Whack. Low, flat, 6.
That's a big one again. That's gone. That's even further. So a couple of 6s here by Lance Klusner. The Zulu has given the crowd what it's wanted. South African smiles now back on the faces. They're off their seats here, and Zulu has smashed a couple of 6s here, which has brought South Africa back into the game.
There's the chant. No one has left this ground. They know that Klusner is their man. 1999 World Cup, he was a sensation.
He's pulled that away and taken. He's taken down a deep backward square leg. Klusner's gone. Is that the match? Now let's see if he's gone onto the rope. The fielder is down there. They're going to investigate. Klusner was on his way. He thought he had gone. Taken a deep backward square leg. The West Indies don't seem all that confident.
Very casual by Pedro Collins. It really is very casual. Look, he's caught it quite a long way inside the boundary. And then what's he done? Oh, I think he's okay. Is he? That's the one where he jumps in onto the rope. Pedro Collins, what are you doing? That's got to be 6. Well, I don't know onto the feet, but that's very casual cricket from Pedro Collins. Well inside the boundary. What's the last little jump? It's there, he's caught it, and then he does well, and then there's a little jump. Onto the rope. Oh, again. Does he know?
Third 6 of the innings. Casual work by Collins. We saw that happen in India with Vaspat Drakes off Saurav Ganguly when he caught him on the boundary and stepped back onto the rope. Typically casual. 3 6s in the over. Klusner's gone. That's another one. That's a big 6. Gale's spell is finished with Klusner's 5th 6. It brings South Africa within 14 of their target. They need just 2 overs now. 265 for 7. That's his 50, and what a way to get his 50. He raises his bat. South African flags flying all around the ground. The players rise from their seats. They've seen Lance Klusener do this before, and he's doing it again. Clubbed away, down towards long off. Brilliant save by Shivnarine Chandapal. Limits the batsman to 2. Full toss, just a single. 8 from 5. Klusener is in strike. Very, very crucial here. A lot of discussion between Drakes and Hooper.
And I think Vasper Drakes has realised that deep mid-wicket is the area that Lance Klusener will go. And he's very adamant he wants a man out there. And eventually the skipper says, OK, if you want a man there, that's where I'll go.
Judging by what we've seen so far, he should be back in the crowd if he can find a seat, because he's had 5 sixes already. Here's Drakes now to Klusener. That's well bowled. Appeal for a catch. All the tension. First bounce doesn't count.
Oh, well, he used 2 hands, that's why. It's usually 1 hand, 1 bounce.
Caught it pretty well, but the ball had hit the ground from the bat. Kai Antini due in next if a wicket should fall. Clubbed away. It's going to go for 6. It's taken. Carl Hooper it is, in exactly the position that Vasper Drakes asked him to go to. All the West Indians are rushing to their captain. Now Makaya Antini will have to come in, but the batsman crossed, so Nicky Boyer will have the strike, who's been in for some time. Still 8 required of 3 deliveries. Now Lance Klusener, he's gone.
I said the next 2 balls would be vital, and one of them was a dot ball, and then this one, it swirled in the wind, and you see Carl Hooper there kept his eyes on it all the way. And that's the position they should have had a man from almost the first ball. Delight on the West Indian faces. Disappointment for Klusener, but he's played really well. Out for 57. 271 for 8.
Quite amazingly, Makaya Antini will have to face, now coming in to replace Lance Klusener, because the batsman didn't cross. And Boyer, with the ball in the air for a long time, he's been in there, he's got 21, and he's not on the strike now.
And I think Lance Klusener is a little bit to blame, because Boyer is almost down his end, but he was so intent on watching the ball that he didn't hardly move from the crease. Look at that, he doesn't hardly moves.
Well bowled by Drake, so they'll have to get 2 boundaries off the last 2 deliveries to win the match, South Africa. 8 they need. A 6 and a 2 will do it. 2 4s as well.
All he had to do was trot through in the air, and Boyer would have been facing. He declined to do that. Too busy watching the ball in the air as the man caught it, and then he marched off, and Boyer was about a yard from him, which left Makaya Antini with all the work to do.
South Africa need 8 runs to win off 2 balls, 2 wickets standing, and Vasper Drakes in the last over of the innings, having removed Lance Klusener, will now bowl to Makaya Antini. It's in the air, it's high, it could go for 6 or it could be caught. It is caught. So the West Indies have basically won the match as Sarwan takes the catch, and jubilant West Indians run out to embrace Ramnaresh Sarwan as Makaya Antini striking the ball in the air, near six, but near sixes don't count.
They're going to rue that moment where Lance Klusner didn't cross with Nicky Boyer. It's very hard for a lower and tail-end batsman to come in and hit boundaries. Mackay Antini did his best. He got it quite a long way. In fact, only a yard or two from the boundary. That's his hitting area. I think in the air he might have thought it was going all the way. And this is a good catch by Sarwan. Judged it beautifully. Nearly made a mess of it, but in the end he knows that's the victory. Antini departs 271 for 9.
It will be Nicky Boyer. 8 to get off one ball. It can be done if they have a wide or a no ball and runs are scored from that. Here's Drake's. It's in the air, down towards fine leg. They've just got to run for it. No, it goes for 4, but the West Indies have won it. Barely, but they've won it. And there are the celebrations. Smiles on West Indian faces. It's been a tremendous performance. It's been a tremendous match, with the West Indies winning 278 for 5, playing 275 for 9. So victory for the West Indies by 3 runs in the opening match of the 2003 World Cup, with a wonderful 100 by Brian Lara being the feature of the innings. There are the West Indies players and their support staff. South Africa, it always was going to be a big challenge for them, and they made a tremendous effort, but in the end it wasn't sufficient.
Merv Dillon bowled very, very well at front, and Vesper Drakes, look at that, 2 for 33, man in a crisis. He came in with that very last over, a lot of pressure on, got Lance Klusner out. Hooper went for a few, so did Gale, although that was mainly in 2 overs. Ricardo Powell 7 and over. Still a lot to do with their backup bowling, the West Indies, but they would be delighted with this. They win by 3 runs.
Now the man of the match was adjudicated by the match referee Ranjan Madagali from Sri Lanka, and he must have been sweating just a little bit towards the end of it all, because he might have had to change his mind, but he didn't have to. The man of the match, undoubtedly, Brian Lara. Brian receives a gold watch worth 12,000 rand. Brian, what a comeback.
Thanks. I don't think a first ball note would have, done justice to the amount of work I've done over the last couple of months. I've worked really hard, and it was nice to come out today and score some runs.
And you've had that work pretty much without match practice?
Yeah, it's been 2 months, December, January, at home in Trinidad, indoor nets sometimes because it's a rainy season. And I work really hard, and as you said, no match practice, but selectors had faith in me, got me out here, and I was happy to score that 100.
A little bit about the pitch, because as you were here last night at the opening ceremony, you couldn't see it, and there were 28 tons of material surrounding it. A good pitch to bat on.
Very good pitch to bat on. I think, unfortunately, we lost 2 early wickets, which set us back. Myself and Chandrapal had to sort of lay a foundation so the guys coming later on could build on it. I thought young Powell and Sarwan showed great quality for the future, and I think in them we've got 2 tremendous young players.
Well, you've just answered my next question, so thank you very much, Brian Lara, and very well played.
Thank you very much.
The man of the match,